Hi everyone, welcome to my first in-depth room tour. Let's get started with the poster I have right behind my door, which is this Freeze TXT poster. I chose this specific version because of the colors. There's a lot of pinks and blacks, which you'll see is a common theme throughout my room. Aside from that, I think the stylist did a great job and I use it as fashion inspiration before I leave the house. Moving down, we have my doorknob that carries my most current purse, and this is from Shein. It's a clear tote that I got mainly because of the Permission to Dance shows. To be completely honest with you, I've been too lazy to change the enamel pins that are on here, so I still have these. They're from different vendors that I've gotten from various cup sleeve events, except for the third one, which is from the Army membership kit. So starting with the one on top, we have my August D pin, then I have a V-Min pin, and then the pin that I talked about already, the one from the Army membership, and then another V-Min pin. To the left of my door, I have my Permission to Dance pickets. I have Namjoon, my bias, and then Yoongi, my bias wrecker, especially for the Permission to Dance era. I got these in LA. Not from the venue, but I did get them at a K-pop store near the hotel room I was staying at. They were a little expensive, but it saved me a couple hours, or not even a couple, but a lot of hours from the merch line. And here we have bows that I make for all of my pickets and light sticks. I have this pink one and white one for June, and then for Yoongi I put a solid pink one. Moving down from these pickets, I have my light switch also next to my door, and lo and behold, it does not come any less decorated than any of my other things. I put these heart jewels just to cover up the screws and make them a little less boring. Then we have my full-length mirror that does its job and does more, like carry my bags. We have my cookie crossbody on top that I got from Amazon. There's actually a line friend store built in, so if you're a Prime member, it's definitely convenient. Then we have my Kuromi keychain that I attached, which came free with my AirPod case. Finally, we have my Borahei tote that I also got from a cup sleeve event. Here's an overview of what we just covered, so you don't get lost as we move forward. Just kidding, there's only so many steps that you can actually take in my room. Just a turn to the right and you can see my first K-pop shelf. I got this at a marketplace secondhand, but I believe you can still get it in IKEA. It pretty much holds everything that does not fit in my smaller K-pop shelf. I'll start from top to bottom. So on my first shelf, we have my BTS Rolling Stone magazine. That was a little hard to find, but I came at the right place in the right time after the 5th call from Safeway. Next to the magazine sits my Kermit the Frog plushie that I got from Disneyland when I used to have band competitions over there. It's really soft and cute. It's the baby edition. I got it with my friends and it just reminds me of high school. To the back of it, I have my lamp that I got a couple years back from my dad. There's a few scratches, but it works perfectly. It wears this Latte World bunny headband that I got in Korea a couple years back. I feel like I'm talking about a person wearing something. But yeah, that's it for the top shelf. Moving down, we have a few TXT items. I have my Moa bong that sits right here. And then it has a bow that I told you that I make. Then to the left of it, we have this box that it came in. Then in the middle, we have my Still Dreaming album from TXT. It's still one of my favorite Japanese albums so far. I remember crying so much when I was trying to fix this display because I missed the concert so much. Before I get emotional, let's get started with what lines the shelf, which is my PTD bandana that I got at the venue when the merch line wasn't so hectic. If you look at the pattern, you'll notice that these shapes resemble the confetti that was thrown during the concert, which one very sweet ARMY sent to me from a group chat. Let's start over to the left so we don't get unorganized. We have my Butter album, Cream edition. Next to the album, I have my Tiny Tan bandages. I have Jin and Jungkook. I got them free from SoFi. They were given to the concert goers that attended the show. Next to it, I have this easel from Daiso and the packaging from the PTD bandana. In front of it, I have my OT7 Polaroid I got from the Butter albums. I haven't developed any photos from SoFi, so I'll have that there to remind me of the boys. I always miss them 24/7. Finally, my favorite item on the shelf, which is the confetti that was from the concert. I didn't pick up any myself because I just sat so far away from the stage, but a very sweet army who had extras sent them to me through mail, so thank you so much for it if you're watching. For the next shelf, I have to flip over the bandana so you could see it properly. At the bottom of this shelf, we have my TXT Memories, the first one that came out. Then we have my Border Carnival album by Enhypen in the middle. On top is my Tiny Tan face mask I also got at SoFi. They came with the bandages from that same booth. Underneath my light stick, I have my jumbo toothbrush box. There's nothing in there. The main reason it's there is just to elevate my light stick. Finally, the cherry on top is my army bomb. I got this on the day of the concert, so I didn't have time to bedazzle it. I just put this blue bow that resembled Junie's mic. Actually, no matter how many years I've been in an army, I never really had an army bomb, so this is very special to me. Underneath that section, we have a few DVDs and album inclusions. One being in the back, we have School of Affairs Special Edition. I knew I wanted to say this in the video, but thank you Big Hit for manufacturing more because the discontinued prices were very much so out of my limit. Then to the right, we have my first and only muster. My sibling gave it to me for Christmas. I don't know how I can repay them. Like, this is a goal that I've had for such a long time. And now that I finally have one, it really just touches my heart. In front of the DVDs, I have two Persona postcards. I pulled the V-Cook for these. I put them inside side loaders, and then I decorated them a little bit to match my room. Finally, we have my Heesung PC. I didn't actually pull him, but the fact that he's my bias and I've never pulled him before, my sweet online friend did send this to me. I appreciate it so much, Purva. Thank you! Next, we have this shelf that contains a lot of pinks, blues, and purples. Starting with the back, we have my Persona albums. I don't actually collect every version for an album, but for this one, I did because the release date was on my birthday, so I was like, I think it'd be cool if I had every version this time for the special day. So I have those. Next to them, I have my Love Yourself Soul DVD. I remember watching this in theaters and the energy was so high and fun during that time. I was like, wow, it must be really nice to have this at home just to watch anytime. And it definitely came in handy during the pandemic. Here we have my Sleeping Koya snow globe that I got from Hot Topic. Every time I give him a shake, he looks so peaceful. Aww. Next to Koya, we have my Blue Hour album by TXT. It's definitely an iconic piece of work in their discography. On top, we have a little Twin Stars jewelry box. It's not actually a jewelry box, it's actually a wipe box, but I just use it for jewelry since I don't use wipes anyways. We finally made it to the bottom of the shelf if it wasn't obvious for the grainy quality. It's the part that's furthest from light, but I still think we can make out the Army Bomb box that's here. Right next to it, I have my Map of the Soul 1 Blu-ray that I used as compensation for the canceled tour. I did have tickets, but due to the pandemic, we had to stay home, which I still think is a better option than anything else. Laying flat, I have my clear wallet that Hobie lives in. He was my pull from the Map of the Soul DVD. This wallet is from EXO's Tempo collection. It was from the SM Coex when I went a couple years back. I used to listen to them a lot, but not so much anymore, maybe just occasional matters. Attached to the wallet, I do have an Ego Hobie enamel keychain. The last pair I have here are Taegyu from my Moabong light stick box. I chose these two out of the 5 members because their outfits looked really well with the shelf, a lot of reds and blacks. We're finally done with the tallest shelf. I honestly feel like I'm losing my breath, but I will try to move on with grace. So here I have too many shelves from the dollar store. Sitting on top, I have my easel from Daiso and my Border Day 1 and Hypen album. I remember the time this came out, I was so excited after watching Island. Below that, I have another black shelf which has a basket from Daiso. I filled it with BT21 keychains. I have Shooky, then I have Baby Tata, which were both gifts for my cousins. Then I have a Koya keychain as well. Behind them, I have BT21 headbands that are sadly now discontinued. To the right, I have my Namjoon Wings Tour poster that I got secondhand. It was kind of hard to find this, but luckily I did find it locally from a seller. I feel like all Namjoon stans would know that this is definitely the cutest solo poster to exist of him. The last thing on this wall, I have a grid that I got from Daiso. All the baskets and compartments of it, I got it there as well, except for the clips, which I just found in my dad's garage. Here we have Kuromi on a basket. I got it from the 626 night market. I don't know why I sounded a little unsure there, but trust me on it, it's from that place. I have a vlog on it, don't worry. So here, let's get to the keychains. I have 3 that I made, and then another one that I made as well. I just noticed that. And then the last 2 I got from 2 different artists. Both include Jungkook, and then one is a Namkook one. In the final basket, I have the cup sleeves that I've accumulated during the pandemic. Thank God there's boba to go. Hanging next to it, I have my Jimin slogan that I got from an organization. It was during his Serendipity performance during the Love Yourself tour. It reminds me of the good days where there were just bubbles and smiles. Hopefully we can have more of those in the future. Okay, so I'm gonna do this next line for Junie.
COVID, get the hell out!
So like this is the main reason why I don't do voiceovers in any video, because of this reason. I'm gonna try to get through this video as formally and as on track as possible. So here's my TV. It's at its Google Home right now that plays a slideshow of Jungkook. I don't have it on all the time, but for this occasion I will, just to show off some beautiful live photos of him. Underneath, I have my BT21 Royce keyboard box that I keep underneath to hide some of this stuff. Not too far, we have Rapmani, my little plant. My mom gifted him to me, so I try to pour as much love as I can. There's no signs of bad aging, so I think I'm kind of doing a good job. Hopefully Namjoon's proud of me. Oh, I mean, maybe not, because I'm using his old stage name. I'm so sorry, Junie. As a base, I have this white marbled tile that I got from Home Depot. I use it as a coaster for my plant. Then next to it, I have a few peach items from Tony Moly. One is a lip product, I believe, and the other one is a hand cream. I can't really give a good review on it since I haven't tried it out, but I will soon. So far, it's only for display. Shifting downwards, I have storage space for more K-pop merchandise. So to the left, I have BTS albums. I have the 4 versions of Love Yourself tier. Then I have School Love Affair and Tae in this Life Goes On B frame. He was my pull for BTS's 2020 Season's Greetings. Then to the right, I have TXT's 2021 Season's Greetings calendar. Wow. That was a mouthful. I thought these 2 pieces really complemented each other. There's a lot of greens and pinks. If you take into account School Love Affair, I love paying attention to so many small details. And speaking of small, I love this page of the calendar. We have Big Hyuning and Yeonjun, and then the other members as tiny fairies. It was quite a magical concept. So in front of all of this, I have my Yeonjun standee, which I pulled from the Season's Greetings as well. Below that level, I have some bulkier items. So here we have my Chimmy plush doll box. Then we have my 2020 Season's Greetings in the middle. I have 2 Cacao Friends reusable tumbler boxes that are empty. I just use it to keep my flimsier albums straightened up. Last but not the least, I have my Esquire magazine that you can kind of see from the top that BTS covered on. Moving on to the neighboring shelf, I have TXT, BT21, and BTS items here. I'll tackle one of the bigger items on the shelf. So we have House of Fairy, or I think House of Fairy. I'm getting so many of my fandoms mixed up. But House Fairy, it was my first season's greetings. I loved how it looked like a book. I thought Big Hit was so witty for doing that. Next to it, I have most of my TXT albums on here, minus 2. I have BTS Face Yourself sandwiched in there, and then I also have one version of Young Forever. I just organized this based off of height. Chilling by itself, I have the Koya plush doll set. They're in there with their friends and enemies in a box. Yikes. I know there's a saying where your bias in BTS is different than your BT21 bias, but that definitely does not apply to me. I love Koya, and he's my number 1. We finally reached the most randomest section of this shelf, and I'm not saying that because of the colors of the items. I'm saying that because of the types of items that are on here. And no, I'm not disappointed by it, but I'm also not very impressed by how I organized it. Regardless, it's a shelf in my room that I will explain. So here we have a Young Forever album, my BTS Mediheel face mask, City Lights by Baekhyun, Map of the Soul 7, The Journey, Too Cool for School. Then I have one version of the Wings album, I believe the G version. Then we also have BTS Uno, that never fails at a party. Then to hold everything together, I have an ARMY membership kit that takes the majority of the space. To the right, I have OT5 PCs from my season's greetings. I also added a few cutouts from the Dream Chapter Magic album. When I got this certain inclusion, I was a little confused on what to do with it. I know some people do DIYs and put it in their phone case, but I was just like, my phone is super small, I can't really fit it in there, so I'll just put it in a frame, and I think it turned out neat. Laying flat, I have my Permission to Dance and Laneige collaboration. I didn't get to pick up any myself during SoFi, so this was sent over to me by a groupmate on Facebook. Thank you, Natasha. It means a lot. So inside, there are clear acrylic charms. I know some people call them standees, but they don't stand up by themselves, so I don't know why they would be called that. But yeah, that's pretty much what's inside. Not too far, I have another set of displays. So starting with the frame, I have TXT's Freeze poster in there. It's a different version than the first one that we saw. And this, I put it up because I thought it was elegant, it was fierce. Okay, so I feel like I'm watching too many reality shows, but that's really how I would describe this poster. An Instagram mutual actually recommended I display it this way, and now I'm recommending you to do it. It's amazing. Shifting our gaze up, I have 2 floating shelves. So on the top shelf, I have 2 paintings. The one on the left is a Jimin Serendipity one. There's a part in the choreography where he lifts his shirt up, and I thought I'd capture it. I definitely need to define his anatomy, so I'll get to that once I have time to paint. I really wish I could. Then to the right, I have Hobie during a fan sign event. I believe a fan took a picture, and I wanted to paint it. I don't know what he's doing. You should probably ask him. On the lower shelf, I do have a few pieces of fan art. So the one framed is Namjoon in front of the Bay Bridge. If you didn't know, I live in the Bay Area, and so this piece of work does mean a lot to me. Next to the frame, I have a Dark and Wild album. It's actually my favorite album that BTS has come out with. I also love the cover, and I think it perfectly explains those 2 paintings on top. Oops. Anyways, I have another piece of artwork on this shelf, and it's a Jimin Serendipity piece of artwork. I guess I'm just so hung up on Serendipity. On the same wall, we have my window. I didn't know the sky would do such a thing today. It was cotton candy pink with a little bit of blue. When the sky sets like this, I can't resist, and I have to at least admire for just, at least a little bit. Right below that scene, I have my plushies on top of my bed. So I have Cookie, I have Jimmy, and I also have Tata plush dolls. Then I have some face cushions. I have the Koya face cushion as well as the larger Cookie version. Here I have my Koya sleeping mask. I was about to say face mask. No. And then I have my Hello Kitty Squashmallow as a scuba diver. Something that I was trying to avoid was that Mott's album over there. I'm trying to cover a portrait of myself from high school. I don't actually keep it there because album damage is real. On the right of my window, I have 2 premium photos. I have a Wings Namjoon premium photo, and then I have a Mott's Jungkook one. I believe both are unofficial, so just beware of scammers. I don't like waste, so they're still up there. On the right, I have my TXT poster where they look so dreamy and comfy. I've never changed it after like so many years, and I honestly don't plan to. I have two image pickets right next to it, which are V-Cook. The Jungkook one looks like he wants to come off my wall, then the other one looks like it's in perfect condition. Regardless, I'm gonna look for image picket covers. I completely forgot to talk about the furniture that's in my room. So my bed frame and nightstand are both from IKEA, then my bed sheets, comforter, and pillowcases are from Walmart. Now we can just focus on the nightstand. So in that little corner, I have a chest that holds a few things on top. There's nothing really inside again. So on the chest, I have first a K for my name, Kristen. Then I have a rosary to keep me safe at night. No more sleep paralysis, please. I have this Hello Kitty nightlight that was supposed to be from Miniso, but I bought it off of a reseller. I'm not even going to link the reseller at this point because Daiso and Miniso Sanrio resellers should be stopped at this point. These things are supposed to cost like a couple bucks. The last thing on top of my chest is a candle that my old friend got me. Yikes, old. But it smells nice, I'll give them that. Nearby, I have another grid starting with a top basket. I have my Funko Pops. This came from the first collection of the BTS ones. And I only have 4 of the members. The other 3 are in my siblings' room since we collect together. I have Jungkook, Namjoon, Jimin, and Tae. Here we have TXT's Japanese albums. I have them in jewel cases. So here I have 2 Chaotic Wonderlands as well as 1 drama album. Accompanying the albums, I have my AirPods that I put in this Kuromi case. In the corner, I have my watch box that also serves as Hyuning's pedestal. I really wanted this specific PC, and surprisingly, I did not have to do any trades. The heavens just sent them over to me. Moving on, I have some everyday items. So here, we have stuff that I need to keep next to my bed, like my Apple Watch that's completely drained, and then I have my iPad and Apple Pencil for school. Both of their cases, the marble and the carrot case, come from Amazon. To hide all my cords and chargers, I have my Cookie and Tata plush doll boxes underneath my nightstand. For the final stretch, we have my workspace. It's the last corner of my room. I do a lot of my schoolwork on here as well as my hobbies, like arts, crafts, editing, blogging, stuff like that. Facing us, we have my office chair that has a Josuke blanket on top of it. The chair itself, I don't know where it's from since it's so old, but my blanket is from Hot Topic. As for my pink plaid tablecloth, it's from Daiso. It's definitely not the softest when you first get it, but after a few drops of sweat from all of that schoolwork, it's definitely achievable. I do have more Daiso finds, so here I have my My Melody soap container. There's no soap in there, but there are items that can easily get lost on my desk. If I open it up, I have a lip care stick from Monsta X and Tony Moly's collaboration. Here I have the backing of a Disney enamel pin, as well as the tip to my Apple Pencil. Since it is winter time in the Bay and my hands do get dry occasionally, I have my Shonu hand cream near my desk. Behind my desk, I have a Jungkook PC from the Army Bomb. It's in this frame from Forever 21, and there's an easel that holds everything together from Daiso. I also do have a Sunny Angel to the left, and that's from Japantown. I'm not much of a reader, but if we're talking about chemistry textbooks, then that's a whole nother conversation. Here, I just have some of my collect books. So in the taller one, I have my unofficial photo cards, and in the smaller one that says collect on the spine, I have my official ones. In between the two, I have BTS's 2020 Season's Greetings agenda. I just changed up the dates and now it's good as new. The main machine I'm using right now is the MacBook Air of 2020. It has all the applications I need as a biology major. I have no problems with it so far. I'm not a big fan of Safari, and plus it doesn't work for any of my programs. So here I have Google Chrome always open, and plus I can customize it to Blue Hour. You'll see some Tata stickers on a few of my keys. Then for the areas near my trackpad, I have a photo of TXT and Jin, As you can tell, there's gems on it, which in conclusion does not let my MacBook close, but that's okay for the meantime since I am doing some online classes. Underneath my MacBook, I do have a black tray for elevation. I also think that this lets the laptop breathe whenever it's overheating. Then in front of the tray, I do have a Rolakuma decal on it to make it look a little less blockish. It's kind of like a black block just underneath, and I didn't really want that for this area. As for my setup, I do have a Chimmy Royce keyboard that I got secondhand. It works very well. It's very comfortable. It's not delayed or whatever, but in the beginning when you do receive it, you might have to change some of the keys that it's programmed to since it doesn't actually match up with my laptop at the least. To match, I have more Royce items, so here we have my baby cookie mouse that I got from Amazon. Then underneath I have a mouse pad that has Koya and RJ, and this is from K-Place in Buena Park. In the back I have some decorative pieces, so the biggest item on there is my Season's Greetings 2020 calendar. I have it today. I never really changed it since his birthday was just last month. Here I have this bunny and carrot plushie that I got years ago from one of my titas. I believe she bought it from Blue Magic, which is a gift shop in the Philippines. Further back, I have this vase of fake tulips. The flowers came from Amazon and the jar is from my mom's pantry. On my wall, I have some decorated printouts. Most of them are of Jungkook, which you'll soon notice. So on the left, I have him sleeping from a summer package. That sounds really weird. Then I have a smaller printout of him. Then I have Jin, I have Yeonjun, I have Jungkook, and then Jungkook again. And then finally, I have my bias. Bias records are really doing a lot, aren't they? But on the top, I have Namjoon again, just to establish that he's my bias. So here, I have him in a frame. Yeah. Against the wall, I have an Enhypen banner that I got in Las Vegas. There's actually 2 K-pop stores over there. For one of them, I struck a conversation with the store owner, and here is the fruit of our conversation, a free Enhypen banner. Partially on top of the banner, I have my CD player that I got from my dad. He said he got it from a thrift store, so I can't really link the brand or where it's from. But here I have my Chaotic Wonderland CD that I just display and play on here. Up there we have my last grid that holds one basket, and in that basket I have my spotlight as well as my Hello Kitty graduating plushie. My dad got it for me when I was in 5th grade and I was transitioning from there to middle school. I sometimes look at it while I do my college schoolwork and it motivates me a little. Above that, I have 2 mustard flags, one of Tae from Japan Magic Shop and the other one of June from Suwuzu. Both of them are from K-Place. Some of the other pieces that are hanging on this grid is a Jiminy art print that I got from a birthday event, as well as a Jungkook photograph that I got from a Season's Greetings. In the closest shelf to it, I have a basket that holds a Still Dreaming album, as well as a Kuromi wipe lid. I'm not going to use it for a bag of wipes, but I will use it for a DIY instead. Finally, we've reached the last item in this room, actually, and that is a frame of my OT7 PCs from VT's Jumbo Toothbrush. Wow, even I need a moment to collect myself. I talked so much today. Thank you for bearing with me. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you some other time. Bye bye!